Yeah, so I'm finally here. Too late to go to the castle, which is, well, I'm going to go to the castle now, but it's going to be too late for me to actually go in the castle, which is a bit of a shame. I think I can actually see it now, because of the whole meaning behind my trip. But at the end of the day, I'm here, and I've got my mum with me, so this is what she wanted to do, so it was only right, being her son, that I wanted to do it and fulfill that dream for her. So yeah, it is a bit emotional, but I know, but yeah, this is what I wanted to do as well for her. And it's, yeah, the final chapter mainly down to the fact that I've got to start getting my life back in order and concentrate solely on myself and my 2 kids. You know, the last few years I've been taken up by other incidents that have happened in my life, and I got all through them. Obviously they're all done, dusted, cleared, medicated. But yeah, no, I'm good. It was just a nightmare yesterday, spending all that time at the airport and nobody really wanting to help me. And then the one woman who was the passport control police, she spoke to me at the desk, the usual stuff like when you're in New York and they ask you loads of questions, or why are you here, and blah. They were doing the same thing. And I told her where I needed to go, and she said, yeah, there's loads of options to get there. And I went, okay, name them, please. And then I saw her outside, she was having a smoke break, and I saw her outside, and she told me, yeah, get the number 5 bus and just stay on the bus, it'll get you there. And I thought, well, that's a bit of a distance, it's 4.5 hours. But I thought, look, you know, she knows what she's talking about, she's a policewoman, she's going to know. So I went on the bus yesterday, and I was on the bus for close to 1.5 hours, and I realised I'm not going to Bran, I'm going somewhere completely different. Oh, I can see the castle now, wow. You can actually just see the top of it. Let me put round. So there's the back end of the castle, I believe, if I'm right. So I'm going to end up falling over. But it's so beautiful, man. Look at the mountains in the background, the snow mountains. It's crazy, and it's not even cold. It's mad. But yeah, it's some beautiful, beautiful places. Wow. I mean, a lot of the places look like something out of The Shining. So trust me, Andy, at midnight, hell no. You know, I had room 13 last night. I took some sleeping tablets. I don't care what would have visited me last night. There was no way they were waking me up. I was completely comatose after them few beers. But yeah, no, I've had a good time. And some people have been in touch, which is lovely. You know, it's always nice, especially my Romanian chums from work. A few of them have got in contact, which is lovely. And a few have got in contact me if I've got any issues with translation and everything else, which is true, but they've been okay. A few people love my accent, which is good, which helped. I think the woman who was driving me in the taxi was coming on to me, which was lovely. You know, she seemed really nice, from Bucharest. And yeah, she was really nice, telling me she wants an older man. Oh, what did she say to me? She said to me something about, asked me questions like if I'm married, and then asked if I've got kids, and I said, why didn't one of your kids come with you? And I said, well, they've got busy lives. And she's thinking kids as in young kids, and I'm thinking, how old do you actually think I am? And she goes, oh, early 40s. And I went, oh, thank you very much. And it wasn't like she was going to get a tip, because it was bulk, so it was already set. I had already paid the 20 quid or whatever to get here. It's so lovely here. I mean, the properties are like proper, so lovely. It's so beautiful around here. So yeah, that must be the castle. So I don't want to get in trouble for filming people. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed my stay. So yeah, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm only going to stay till Thursday now, because I think it's too risky, right? Doing a 7-hour train ride on the day you're actually departing, it'll be too risky, and knowing me, I'll end up missing my flights. So for me, it'll be a lot better. But yeah, getting back to the woman in the taxi, really nice girl. I think she was late 30s or something. Or she told me she was late 30s. Obviously, you don't ever ask a woman how old she is. You know, that's common knowledge. You just don't do that to a woman. It's disrespectful. But yeah, she obviously told me dating a guy that's 5 years younger than her, and her life is kind of wasted. She went for something that obviously wasn't there, and 5 years into a relationship, it's not going where it needs to be, and he's still immature, and I need to be with an older man. But yeah, I'm way older than her. But yeah, it was just nice. It was a nice journey, nice drive, nice talk. Obviously, she spoke about herself, and a lot of people that know me will be like, isn't that what you do? Yeah, I'm a talker. I don't really care. I mean, people can take me as I am. But yeah, no, it feels really good. It feels really, really good to be here. I'm actually really happy. And I don't want to overthink about that stuff, because that would just make me well up on camera. So I don't really want to be doing that. I know a real man cries, but yeah, it's so beautiful here. Jochen I'm going to go to tonight, I think, for food. And my friend Daniela told me certain foods like chorba and a few other bits, and the donuts, and obviously I'm going to try all that. What I do find here in Romania, the amount of ambulances and police that go flying around, feel like I'm in New York again. But yeah, there's obviously the back end of the castle, the Dracula castle. Yeah, it's beautiful. But yeah, that's the restaurant I think I'm going to go to tonight. So yeah, I'm going to take a little walk down. What I don't get about these roads, I don't know if I'm allowed to just cross over, or if I've got to just go over the zebra crossing. I don't really know. But yeah, no, it's stunning. But yeah, no, so what, this time of the year, up to the 1st of April, the last tours at Grand Castle is 4 o'clock. So I didn't make it, but like I said to you, the main thing is I got here. I'm here, I'm at the castle. I'm not going to rush it. Obviously I really wanted to celebrate my mum today, which I have done. You know, 7 hours on a blooming train. Felt like the old sleeper trains that we used to get, the Night Rider to Glasgow, when my mum used to take us there as kids, and we'd sleep on the train. You know, back in the days, we'd sleep on the floor, or, you know, obviously because I'm 2 foot and an inch, you know, I could fit under the table easy, where both my brothers are flipping lanky as hell, and they're 6 foot. So for me it was easy, and Rachel was a baby then, so it was easy, it was convenient. But yeah, well, that's a beautiful cross there at the top of the thing, if I can get it. Very nice. But yeah, so yeah, it's an emotional trip, but you know, I think I'll be more emotional when I obviously let my mum go. Some people have asked me, you keeping some ashes? Obviously I've kept a little bit. Majority of my mum's ashes were illegally, first of all, me and my 2 brothers, we dug down in my nan's grave, which you're not allowed to do. You've got to pay for that. But we pay? No. So yeah, we dug down, got a, what do you call it, like a message in a bottle, kind of bottle from Range, or the Range, and we filled that out with my mum's ashes, and then we dug down so she could be near her mum. The other bulk of the ashes I took back to Scotland with me to the island Rossi, and I spread it around the island, all her favourite haunts, excuse the pun, haunts, up the bush, up the Goy, Barone Hill, Ettrick Bay, St Andrew's School, the Catholic school my mum was at, and wow. Jeez, I thought I saw a wolf there. My mate Darius has been winding me up for weeks now about wolves. Obviously there's massive amount of grey wolves here in Transylvania, as well as bears. So you won't catch me walking down here at midnight. You must be mad. beautiful. But I'm guessing there's probably a lot of different ways to get in there, but the forest there is amazing. Vama, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. My Romanian friends are going to kill me. But yeah, it's a beautiful stream, you would call that? Yeah, some beautiful places to visit. But yeah, it's beautiful, right? Let's see what's what. But yeah, the train ride was good. I was going to go first class. I think it works out like 30 quid for first class. I don't know what you would have got for that. I was dying for a drink. I only had the bottle of Coke that I took from last night from the bar to take my medication, and then I drank that. But 7 hours with 500 mils, and I think I had 4 biscuits left. That's all I had all day, so I need to eat. But yeah, I finally got here. It's amazing. And yeah, I'm here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so you could say 4 more days. Yeah, 4 days in full I'd be in Transylvania. So yeah, I'm just gonna get up most mornings, go for a run, get some breakfast somewhere, go for some walks, and then yeah, I think there's a Dracula village and there's a few other bits. I think tomorrow is an actual celebration in Romania. I was told by the Christine, the taxi driver. She told me it's like a celebration tomorrow, so there's loads of like pastries and cakes and everything that's going to be out and about tomorrow. So I better go for a run to work off the amount of sugar I'm going to take. But I don't think they use a lot of sugar, right? So especially them donuts that Daniela told me about, the cheesy ones, the proper way to make donuts. Let's cross over this bridge. Yeah, it's beautiful here, man. I've got to sit on this field. Sure, there's a lot of history here. Sure, there's a lot of the castle. But yeah, I'll probably go up there tomorrow. Thing is that I'm actually here. That's what I wanted. It's lovely. Yeah. Yeah, my mum would have loved this. She would have been in her element. I was contemplating seeing when I get into Vlad's bedroom if I can spread some arashis in the bed. But I'll probably get arrested, so I won't be doing that. I'm going to find somewhere in the garden. When I feel the right place, I believe it will come to me, and then I'll spread our ashes out. But yeah, spreading the ashes. So I spread all the ashes in Scotland. Then I used some of the ashes for my mum's tattoo of her praying hands when she had beads. So envisioned her picture, or the picture of my mum's hands before she passed away, when she came out of the coma and she was in a fully vegetated state. I had that picture in my head of my mum with her hands, and we put our beads around there so she can, so we can pray for her. So that vision was in my head all the time, so hence why I got the tattoo. And I used some of the ink. If you saw Miami Ink at any time for your life, it's a great show with Army James. And one person came in and did that, and I thought maybe I'll ask. And the Scarlet Rose that I used to get my tattoos from in Newport Pagnell, they were happy to do that, so they did it for me. So. and then yeah, it left me with a small amount, so I used half of that to put in the pot, and yeah, she's finally here. So it's not a massive pot, it's the pot here. I put it in a bag, so it's not huge, and my hands are not massive spades, but it's big, it's kind of full with my dear little mum. in here, and about 900 kilos of her silver, because people that knew her knew that she always wore silver bangles. That was her main thing. She always had bangles. I remember the stories of, remember the actual Sunday night was always bath night as kids, and when we were living in Bradville in Harrodin, 70 Harrodin, we used to always go for baths before catchphrase or what have you was on. That was family time to sit down and try and guess catchphrases and stuff. And me and my brother George, we were always getting into tussles. We'd always get into little fights. You know, I love my brother, but we never hated each other. But it was just usual boy stuff, right? You got that built-up rage and stuff, and most of the time it was George's rage. But what, George? Never. And yeah, and me and George would always get into shit, and we'd always be fighting. My mum would be in the kitchen. That was her favourite place to hang out. So people that knew her, she would always make sure that she had a little table and chairs. You could say like a little dining room table, but we never really used that for dinner. But that was my mum's place when she finished work at the library or at the council. She'd come home and then she would sit down there, get herself a cup of tea, listen to the Doors, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, David Bowie, all the music that my mum loved. She would play the music. We'd be in the living room watching telly, and we'd always get in arguments and disagreements. And I remember one of the nights me and George were fighting in the living room. We just got out of the bath. I think I was last to get out, and I still had my towel around me. Back then we didn't really care, right? So now you got to be moisturised and already dressed before you come downstairs. But you know, being kids, we didn't care. And me and George were fighting, and my mum screamed from the kitchen because we, you know, broke her relaxing time, and she came running after us. And we always had that horror of, you know, running up the stairs and somebody's going to grab the back of your legs, and we used to do it to each other. So me and George were running, but George was obviously a lot quicker than me. And then my mum would try and scalp us, but when she would scalp us, she wouldn't realise that I was still a bit wet on my legs, and it would always be the silver bracelets that would catch you. So you'd have blood running down back of your legs, and you know, a parent line or child line, if you're listening, I'm okay. I got through it, but it made me the person I am today. But yeah, no, she always had the cling. But yeah, no, we made sure when my mum was cremated that she was herself. We didn't want to, you know, just put her in any kind of outfit. It had to be their outfit. It had to be all her jewellery. We had to make sure, obviously, a couple of the jewellery lines, I believe my sister might have kept something, but I think she wanted mum to go with. So you probably find like 60% in the ashes where my mum, the other 40% was all her silver and jewellery. So, but it was weird at the airport. I had all the letters, I had the certificates, I had everything in place. I went to the counter. They said, no, just tell security. I told security, and they went, yeah, it's all good. And then they stopped me because of my vape juice. They didn't stop me from having a powdered substance in the front of my bag, but so no, I haven't. But yeah, so I'm here, which I'm happy about. I'm really content, emotion, as you would be, to actually be exactly where my mum wanted to be. And it's stunning. So thank you, everyone. I generally don't think many are going to watch this or comment. They don't really have to. It's doing this myself, and then anybody that is actually interested, then and so be it. But they probably do a lot of events here. So beautiful. But yeah, I'll do the tour tomorrow. I don't think it'd be right. I mean, I can go there now and spread my mum's ashes somewhere in the forest there or what have you, and then what? So I'd rather take her around the castle, go to all the different rooms and visit it, and just spend a few hours here tomorrow, and then when the time's right, then I'll put the ashes out for her. But yeah, it's lovely. But yeah, that's it really. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Oh geez, what a night. Got extremely drunk last night. Yeah, I think I was drinking till about 3 o'clock this morning. I polished off nearly half a bottle of rum. I was speaking to my sister-in-law till about over an hour, FaceTime. Yeah, it was tough. And look at these mountains, man. Jeez. So, look at that. So beautiful. Never thought I would see something like this. Nearly broke my ankle. Yeah, I'm on the way now to the castle. Yeah, emotional, tough. Probably the worst thing to do is to talk about it. But they say it's always good to get it off your chest and speak about these things. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that I love and someone that's really dear to me. Lost their father last year, and then so that's been tough on her, and I've been helping her through that as much as I possibly could, except bringing him back. It's always tough. And then another friend that I love dearly lost her father close to a month ago now, so it's still really fresh. And he was an amazing man, and loved him dearly. And I remember one year I spent Christmas with him and the family. So, my love goes to them. It's always fresh. It's always really hard to deal with. And then my mother, my little brother. You never really get over it. It's like a pain that sticks with you forever. Nobody ever teaches you how to deal with loss. And that's where I learned that I needed to speak to my kids about it, and I needed to help them, because when you lose your loved one, you don't really care what's happening around you. You close off your bubble, but then you have to realize that my kids also lost their nan, their uncle. Then James went first, and then Marlene went next, who I loved extremely dearly. She took over my mother mantle when my mum passed away. And then James was my father. I never had a dad growing up. I don't even know who my father was. He left 2 weeks before I was born, so he couldn't take up the responsibility of being a father. Well, that's what I've been told. So I didn't grow up with a father. There was a few guys around my mum. My mum was stunning. She was beautiful. So obviously she attracted a certain caliber of men. Most of them were alcoholics, abusers, who used to physically harm my mother. To the point, I remember the one time when I'm laughing, but it's not funny, obviously. But I think we were in Fishermead at the time, and he would always go out drinking and come home. My mum would lock the gates, so he'd lock the doors, and then he'd come round, he'd boot the door down and come in and physically hurt. And I remember he was jumping on her back and her stomach and done her ribs in and stuff like that. And I know me and George grabbed a knife and yeah, we were going to stab him. We should have done. But, so I never had a father, so sorry, that was a bit dark all of a sudden. But he's an asshole, and he will get his comeuppance very soon, trust me. We've been harbouring it for a long, long time, and unless the big man upstairs takes him, then yeah, we'll see what happens. But I better watch what I say. Incriminate myself. But no, yeah, with James, he was an amazing man. And he had all the elements of what I wanted in a father. And when he passed away, that killed me as well. And I know it was seen as, you know, he wasn't my father, but, you know, he was my father for 20 years. So, and we spent a lot of time together. We got football. He would come to watch me and his son Glenn play football all the time. He was just an amazing guy. And with Jim recently, that was just really sad. You know, we take life for granted and we live in our bubbles and we get on with things, and I'll see them when I see them. But I just wish I had one more time, you know, one more moment with my mother and then obviously my little brother. He took it really hard. Well, we all did. You know, we all took it in our own little way. I wanted to protect my brothers and my sister. I wanted to protect them, but what it was doing, it was making me sick. Ended up with alopecia through stress and everything, and culminated into the breakdown of my marriage. I lost my humour for a while. It's back, don't worry. But you just change as a person. It completely and utterly wrecks your head, wrecks your life, your mindset, and things like Facebook and things like that just doesn't mean anything. And you know, people always say, my close friend will have a disagreement with her mother, and then she'll tell me, and then she'll go, "Oh, sorry, you don't ever have to apologise. At the end of the day, my mum had her faults. You know, she wasn't perfect. I don't think anyone is. But, you know, she could never do any wrong in my eyes. You know, she was a single parent, strong, independent woman who didn't take any shit. I know she took shit off that idiot, but I think that kind of thing, or a woman that are in abusive relationships, they tend to go back to it all the time because it's the norm. They believe it's normal, but it's not. But you kind of go through it your own little way, and that's what I do. So, but yeah, so I'm near the castle now. I'm gonna go on the tour, take my mum around the tour. People have asked me why Transylvania. You know, people that knew my mother, and a lot of people only knew my mum years and years ago in Scotland, but anyone that knew her over the last 10 years or whatever before she passed would have known that because she was a white witch, we always had gothic kind of morbid kind of stuff around the house, and goblins and the whole death and angels, and she had all them kind of elements around the house all the time. So we were always around it, and people that knew my mother, she always wore black, and the only time she wore red was in Tartan. So she would wear red and black all the time. So she was always surrounded, or we were always surrounded by that thing, to try and get some sleep when you got all that stuff around the house. It was tough, but that was my mum, and she was obsessed by Dracula and the love story behind it, and she loved Bram Stoker's Dracula was her thing, and she loved Gary Oldman, and yeah, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder. It was one of her favourite films, but I could say that, because me and my mum have the same passion for movies, so I could say like Back to the Future is my favourite trilogy, and Goonies and Lost Boys, but then it's vast. I just love movies, so she always loved movies, and Bram Stoker's Dracula was one of her favourites, and she always said that she wanted to visit the castle one day, but because she had a fear of flying, she really struggled to go anywhere when she went to Paris to go visit Jim Morrison's grave, because she was obsessed by Jim Morrison and the Doors. She had to go, the boat route and the train route and the buses route, rather than flying there and getting there quicker. So she would never have came here. It's too far for her. So I thought it was only right that I did it, and fulfill her dream. If you can fulfill somebody's dream, it makes you feel good inside, and it does make me feel good. And then and then it makes you feel like you've done something good with your life, and that's all I want to do, is to make her proud. That's all we ever want to do, don't we? We always want to make our parents proud. Either it means education or in life, being a father. She loved my kids dearly. I know she went a bit, her head went the last few years, especially when her mum passed away. She was never the same person. I was still living in South Africa at the time. And my nan, who I love dearly as well, she phoned me on my birthday, and then she passed away 4 weeks. 4 weeks to the day. So she phoned me 4 weeks before she died, and she told me that she'd always be with me, and she would always be my guardian angel. And that just stuck with me. So I know she's with me all the time, but my mum completely ruined her. Her mum was her world, and I know that they had a toxic relationship over the years, and I believe all the siblings had a toxic relationship with her mother, especially when alcohol was involved. Hence why my mum didn't drink. She drank years ago, but she stopped drinking because of everything around her and the way things were going in life. So it's got windy all of a sudden. So that's why my eyes are watering. It's the wind. So I'm going to go buy the ticket now. But she loved my kids dearly, and it was one of her proudest moments. It was the birth of Calvin, and then my angel Casey. So that was tough on my kids. So they lost, in the space of a few years, all their grandparents, their Uncle Mark. They were besotted by my in-laws, with Marlene and James. They were just amazing people. So Glenn and Mandy, they lost two massive people in their lives. That was a struggle. It's an everyday struggle. You know what it's like, and you just bury your head away, you just bury yourself, put your head in the sand, and but it comes back to you, and it comes back sixfold. So I always feel like you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it face on, and I hope I'm going the right way. And it's tough, and you've got a lot of stuff to sort out, especially with Claire and Kelly at the moment going through what they're going through. You're trying to deal with loss, but it's so hard because you've got so much to sort out. And then you bury it away. You've got to be strong. You've got to be strong for family, and then you'll have your moment. And then it's really, really tough, and I feel for them. And and my other friends that have lost their parents and through cancer and all them fucked up say illnesses or diseases. It's really tough. I mean, for me, I never really had a chance. We never had a chance really, because we didn't know that my mum had a brain aneurysm. Her sister had two. She survived both of them. One of them hemorrhaged and she survived, but it kind of limits what you can do, and you can't fly anymore and you can't travel because of the pressure on the brain. So I know deep down, I believe my mum knew she had a aneurysm. I still need to get her medical records because I want to see it. But yeah, it hemorrhaged, and she was I don't know if it's a class 3 or a type 3. It's like the worst hemorrhage that you can get. So there was no way she was going to survive that, for sure. So we never really had time to deal with it. Like most people, I don't know, I think going as quick as mum did. I mean, she was in a coma for a month, and then, so beautiful in the background. She was in a coma for a month, and when she came out of the coma, during that time, it was realised that she was in a fully vegetated state. And it was always, she would always say to me, son, if I ever get like that, if I'm ever in a wheelchair, or if I'm ever have to be fed and bathed and cleaned, and I don't want to live that type of life, son, and I need you to promise me that if I ever get like that, I need you to turn the machine off, or I need you to let me go. And then you're always like, yeah, mum, yeah, okay, mum. And then when it happens, and we had to make that decision. It was the hardest thing we ever had to do. So when she went into cardiac arrest and they brought her back in Milton Keynes, when they brought her back to life, she was so frail and her body was in so much pain. She was on morphine all the time, and our own selfish needs, like my little brother and my sister, they were like, no, I'll look after mum, I'll bath her, I'll do everything, I'll look after her. But we wish we could keep our parents forever, but you don't want to see them go through that amount of pain. And she went through a hell of a lot of pain. And I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. So me and my brother George, we made the decision that if she goes into cardiac arrest again, we don't want her to be resuscitated, because it was causing so much damage to her body, and she couldn't speak anyway, she couldn't move anyway. But anyone that knew my mum, because she dealt with anorexia for so many years, and she has COPD, it's a pulmonary disease. She knew eventually she would struggle to go upstairs. She would have to go into oxygen eventually, and that was mainly down to smoking probably, and I think her mum had it as well. So yeah, it was, she was getting to that age. I don't think she would have made it through COVID. I generally don't believe that. I think when COVID came through, and it took a lot of people that I cared about and loved as well. People that had issues before, they would have really struggled. My mum probably would not have made it through COVID. And in a way, it was a saving grace that she went first, because I don't think she would have been able to have dealt with when Mark died. And that was tough, really tough to take, because I felt guilty. Still to this day, I still feel guilty. I should have done more. Being the oldest, but I was dealing with my own demons, you know, and my marriage was shit, and everything was going really shit, and I just had to keep working because I was always the provider, so I always provided for my kids, and I still to this day, I'll always be a provider. It's the way my mum brought me up, that's why she took me out of college like she did. I eventually went to uni and did all that kind of stuff, but and worked towards my degree and stuff, but yeah, I had to leave because I had to help my mum. I had to work. I had to do what I needed to do for my mum and my family. So with Mark, yeah, that was a real struggle because he was dealing with alcohol and everything else, and we were blind to it, or we thought we were blind to it, but we didn't see the signs because we were struggling with ourselves. She just had another child, and she was dealing with that, and then the loss of her mum, which was always huge on a girl to lose that. You know, like anyone, like, you know, I'm firstborn, and you know, we always need our mothers, right? And it was tough. It really was tough on the family and everybody, but you know, I just shut myself off and just went back to work, which made me really sick, and I ended up with alopecia. And I know a lot of idiots or people that are around me make jokes and comments about my greyness and everything else, but you don't quite understand what I went through and why, you know, my head is grey like it is, and you know, I've lost a lot. And then they're like, yeah, right, yeah, it's time you've been old, or you know, the amount of times your head's rattling against the bedboard. But no, I wish. But no, it's I had alopecia, I had a breakdown, ended up with alopecia. Then 2 weeks after Mark's funeral, I got made redundant, and that killed me because I was trying to deal with everything and had a breakdown. Got a new position at Linford Woods in IT for Kuehne+Nagel, and did really well, working for Barclays and Virgin and all the other Dolce Gusto and all the other contracts that I was dealing with. But I really struggled with that, and I had to go to Bedford Hospital every month. I had to get around 50 or 60 injections into my skull, into my head. And anyone that knows, like my mate Jack, you know, who I love dearly, he knows, because it's the same needles that you use for insulin, so they're pretty thick and they're small, so they had to jab into my head and into the sides. And what that did was then eventually the steroid injections made my hair grow back. But when it grew back as new hair, and then it was automatically grey, silver, you know, silver fox or whatever you want to call me. But and then on my face, because I get alopecia in certain areas, that's hence why I shave the way I do on my neck, is to get rid of all the hair, and that's mainly down to so the alopecia won't show up on my neck. And it got to really bad because the steroid cream on my face, it takes away layers. If it's used for too long, it takes away layers of your skin. And the doctor was worried that I had taken the skin down to its very last layer, that if I had any kind of little tear or whatever, then I'd have massive holes in my face. So I had to stop taking that steroid cream, hence why it grows back like it does, and it grows back like silver. And anyone who knows me, my hair is black, it's, you know, dark brown, it's dark hair, but a lot of it is grey now, and that's mainly down to stress and loss. But yeah, I've waffled on long enough. I need to do this. So yeah, it's a built up of pressure and a built up of time that I've, you know, you keep putting it off, as you do with life. You push it to the back burner all the time, and then don't realise how quick life can be. Hence why I live the way I do now, and I live it to the fullest now, and I prefer it that way. Hence why relationships, you know, certain people get scared of committing to me, because I commit really easy, mainly down to the fact that, you know, I love easy, but it's mainly because I think life's too short. You've got to tell the person that you love them. You've got to tell them how you care. And even if it is early days, you know, you don't know what's around the corner. And this whole, I need time, I need this, you know, time is, it don't wait for anybody. You know, you got to think. So yeah, obviously not in a relationship, but you know, at the end of the day, it's their loss. And that's just the way life is. But yeah, my life will fall into place soon, I know it will. And my first step is to do this with my mother. And then when I finish with that, then enjoy the rest of my holiday. Get back, sort my work out, what I want to do in life, start putting plans into place where I want to go in life, what I want to do, even if it means leaving my job, starting a new job. Sell my property eventually. And see more of the world. I always say to friends and people that I love that, you know, life is all about experiences, and I enjoy experiences. I don't as such enjoy experiences on my own as such, you know, I want to share them experiences with people. But yeah, I had nobody to go with me on this trip, so I did it by myself. I did it for myself. I could have done with some support, but I know all the people that have reached out already. I'm very grateful, thank you. I've got a couple of friends that actually live in Cluj now. I've known them for years. Bogdan, Boca, friends that I've had for years, so I'm meeting up with them on Thursday for a drink, which is amazing. Small world and all of that, so they're going to meet me after work. We're going to go for some drinks Thursday night, so I'm going to go back to Cluj a day early so I can be closer to the airport. And yeah, I'm going to spend some time with them, which is going to be fun, and see how they're getting on with their lives. So, and I've known Boca for about 11 years, 12 years close to. And Bogdan I've known for many, many years, an amazing guy. Always been a good friend, and he's enjoying life now with his new missus, and yeah, I'm really happy for him. So it'll be good to catch up with them and have a couple of drinks with them. People probably thinking wolf. Yeah, I'm doing it so I can try and keep the wolves away from me. And it's not just my love for Taylor Lautner from Twilight, because I was always a wolf. But no, it's I think it was kind of fitting well. But yeah, no, I've waffled on far too long, so I do appreciate anybody that's listening or watching. Just know that I love you all, and all the people that have lost their loved ones. My heart goes out to you, it really does. But you need to talk about it, you need to speak your mind, and you need to talk to people. And there's nothing wrong, it's not a sign of weakness. Going to a grievance counsellor, I went to grievance counselling for a while to try and help me cope with life in general, and, you know, marriage and fatherhood and all that kind of stuff when your brain is completely clogged and you're in a dark place, and it's really hard to concentrate on things like that. It doesn't seem like it's that important, but it really is, because they're alive, they're still around, and you need to be strong for them as well. And it's so easy to just fall into that dark place and not give a shit about anybody, and that's when it gets worse. So alright, so I love you all. I'm gonna go do this castle thing. Alright, I may do a video when I'm doing my mum's ashes, I don't know. I might just do it for my own and for my kids. I might post it, I might not. But yeah, that's me done. 30 minutes. Jesus, I could talk my way out of anything, right? But before I get run over by a car, or before I actually do this, I better concentrate. Alright, so ciao, bye. Yeah. No, it was nice. Just on the tour. Some really nice rooms in there. There was a couple of places inside that I wanted to put the ashes in, but there's a lot of cameras around the castle, and the last thing I need is to be arrested. So I don't think it was right to do it inside the castle. So I need to find somewhere outside the castle to spread my mum's ashes. Obviously got it ready. There is some nice areas. It would be nice like this, you know, if this was out open to the public. I know it's a very steep hill, but you know, these kind of places would be lovely to put my mum's ashes there, but it's all gated, and I don't think you're allowed around, which is a shame, because you know the forest looks lovely. I don't even know if you have access to the forest, but yeah, no, it's a beautiful castle, stunning. Really nice to finally get inside, and for my mum, it was about 70 lei, so it was about £12 maybe to get in. It was nice. It took me probably at the most half an hour to walk around. It didn't take too long. Really nice to see the rooms and see exactly where people were back in them days. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. Yeah, my mum would have loved it, for sure. But there is no decent area. I'm gonna look around where I am now. It's because there's so many people around as well. I generally don't want it, and there's a wind, and you know, you probably get that like in the movies when somebody goes to put the ashes and the wind hits it and then it smashes you in the face. I generally don't want to do that either. But yeah, there was some nice areas, but I think if I dropped it now, the wind would take it and it'd probably land on somebody, and you know, there'd be big trouble there. So yeah, I'm thinking about it's just trying to find the right place, right? Like, I'm probably not going to ever come back again, but not that I hate it, it's just, obviously, this is my mum's dream, not mine, so I just got to find the right area, man. It's really tough, you know, but my mum's ashes out there, so a little bit difficult. I think I know where to do it. Exactly around the corner. Sorry. So I'm thinking somewhere around here, I think. Really nice. Somewhere like here. Yeah, I like this area here. So yeah, I think I'm going to do it here. I think it's on the castle grounds, so my mum can be close, and then this is the view from the area, which is beautiful. So yeah, there's not many people around here, so I think I'm going to do it here. Okay, Mum. Finally done it. Trying to do this with one hand is a little bit difficult. There you go, Mum. Sure. There you go, Mum. You made it. I love you. Hello everyone, welcome to the end of episode 7. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the affirmation or Sean talk that I like to do at the end of most of the podcasts. Yeah, that trip was a very emotional trip, as you could tell, and you probably would have seen that a few of the moments that I spoke about in my life were repeated on previous podcasts, and the reason for that being that trip was done back in March earlier on this year, and it was before I even thought of the idea of doing podcasts. And it was some videos that I'd done for my own personal use, but for my family as well, and a few of my friends saw it as well. Now, at the end of the trip, and I came home and I was thinking what I was going to do next, the podcast idea came to me either through my mother, my nan, different spirits that visit me on a daily basis. I had this really strong feeling that I wanted to do a podcast, and you know, I've enjoyed every single minute of my podcast, don't get me wrong. I know I've been negative on some of them, but you know, you can't blame me. You know, I put a lot of work and effort into my podcast, and at times I don't feel I'm getting supported, but that's just normal. I just have to get used to that and try and reach out to the masses rather than reaching out to the people that I care about. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and there'll be another podcast in a couple of weeks, but this is the affirmation. So thank you guys, and much appreciated as always. Now, I wrote this for my mother, so I've called it For Jan Patricia Erickson. You know, there's a kind of silence that settles in when you lose someone who felt like your whole entire world. For me, that silence came the day I lost my mother, Jan Patricia Erickson, the most important woman in my life. Even now, there are moments when I forget she's gone. I'll be going about my day and suddenly think, I need to tell my mum this. And then I remember, she's not a phone call away anymore. She's not sitting at the other end of the table or humming in the kitchen. But somehow she's still here. She's in the way I love, the way I try to be kind, even when it's hard. She's in the advice I give to others, the way I laugh when I need to cry, and in those quiet moments when I whisper, Mum, I hope you're proud of me. Grief has no expiration date, but neither does love. And Jan Patricia Erickson loved in a way that left a mark, permanent, beautiful, and deeply human. So if you're listening right now and you've lost someone, especially someone like a mother, I want you to hear this. You're still connected through memory, through spirit, through the pieces of them you carry in your soul. My mother may have gone from this world, but she's not gone from me. She's in every I love you I say without hesitation. She's in every ounce of strength I summon when I feel like I can't keep going. She's in every act of softness I offer this world, because she taught me that strength and tenderness can live in the same heart. So take this moment, put your hand on your heart, and breathe with me. Breathe in. And breathe out. And now say this, or just let it settle into you. I carry love, not just grief. I carry memories, not just sorrow. I carry strength, not just pain. And I carry her, always, with love. To Jan Patricia Erickson, and to all the other mothers and loved ones that we've lost, thank you for shaping us, for loving us, for never really leaving us. We will keep going. For you, because of you, and with you. Until next time, take care of your heart. And just remember, you're not alone.